Oh, right, let's have a diary entry about this before I collapse and it gets too dark, so I really want to keep the batteries okay. That was a tough day. I think I set off from Neyland at 12 o'clock. Got here at about 6:30, I think. 6, sort of tidied up by about 7 o'clock. The weather looked good on paper, it looked okay, it improved a lot. I hadn't reckoned for the fact that the sea state was still going to be very, very big in places. The camera's moving about a bit, so if I grab it. And the sea is moving about in places as is the camera. The wind wasn't too bad, which is kind of the bigger factor that I took into account. The self-steering, the mounting for the steering tiller broke, which meant that I couldn't get any respite, and because the sea was so lumpy, I could only literally dart down below for a second or two at a time. There's no chance of actually putting the sails up and so on. So if the wind is alright, if the gods are happy, if the sea is smooth, I should be able to, it's basically a straight line, I should be able to do just a straight line. I'm not going to try and fix the Hills helm tonight. I'm going to figure out what time I need to leave, etc. I don't think desperately early, because I think the tide turns about midday. Lots of sloshing noises down below and wet carpets, and I pumped out the bilge pump a couple of times, but there's water collecting in the bilge under the floorboard. Now I'm not sure where that's coming from. If it's coming from the keel bolts, that's a bit worrying. Well, in fact, it is worrying wherever it's coming from. I had to sort of pump it out a few times, and when I got back here, I also had to pump it out. I'm not sinking. Touch wood. Stupid thing to say, isn't it? I'm going to check below the floorboards again in a second. The first time I've used GPS, it is fantastic. Oh, it's brilliant. Absolutely fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Brilliant wave. It's much easier than sailing by compass, and it's a really nice display. I don't use the map display, I just use the straight GPS display. What was I going to say? Getting tired now. This is going to be a lumpy night. The wind is coming from the shore direction. There's still a bit of a swell coming in. It should lessen, and in the morning I think we've got 6, 7, 8 mile an hour wind, so that should and could be quite pleasant. But I really, really want to get, really want to sail. It is a sailing boat after all. Yeah, so a bit of a shakedown for me as well as the boats, and I did get concerned at some points. I really did, because I didn't know. You know, it was engine all the way. I didn't know if the engine was going to carry me through. It did. Good old Yanmar. It actually started to sound better as we carried on going. It didn't seem to overheat too much. Apparently they have problems getting hot. Just wish I did think about buying an emergency can of diesel, and of course now I wish I had have done, just in case it goes pear-shaped. But I'm going to do my passage. I'm going to eat first. My brain is not working. You can probably sense that my brain's not working at the moment. Yeah, that was too rough. I couldn't get the camera. I wanted to. That was real stupid rough. Waves and so on, but and she doesn't go through them. She sort of follows the shape of the wave. So if the wave goes on its side, you go on its side, which is interesting. But it always was a choice between the one that would sail and cut through things and the big one, the big beamy one. And I went for the big beamy one. I wish shall have to see. She's going to be delightful for living. I'm really looking forward to that aspect. I'm really looking forward to sailing her properly. It would be. There is a lot of sloshing going on. I don't know where this sloshing is coming from. No, I hope not. I hope we'll get off tomorrow. Swansea, here we go. Okay, signing out. Bye.